Join us!
Hey, what's up everybody on both YouTube and Twitch? Yes, we finally made it to a particularly big number 25, the 25th episode of the Shadow Cult podcast, and plenty more to go after this, but tonight we begin...
At least one more.
Yeah, at least one more. But anyways, so for tonight we begin Survivor Series month. For the next 4 episodes starting tonight, we're going to be covering a different Survivor Series. Of course, I'm not alone. I got Scott and Walt here with me as always, but please welcome back for the 3rd time, I believe, Mr. WeAreProWrestling. James, what's up?
Woohoo! What's up, guys?
Just to find some kind of escape from all the bullshit going on. The latest in the bullshit in the NASCAR world, which, by the way, my friend King Fat will address that on Twitter. Go follow him at the King Fat. Cheap plug.
There you go.
But anyways, enough of all that. Let's get on to something good for once. So tonight
Scott, did Bob sign the thing?
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
prior show conversation we were just having there. Sorry.
Yeah, we were having a little chat about. Well, you know what? I feel like the people should know about this chat. So before we get into the actual show, why don't you tell this story because it's pretty funny.
All right. Well, it is totally coincidental that we are doing a Survivor Series happening in Washington, D.C. that has a presidential impersonator on it, and one of the superstars was fake running for president based on what day it is in real life. So this reminded me of the story that me and some friends of mine went to an autograph signing to go meet Bob Backlund. And this is when Backlund had just coming back to the WWF in the mid-90s there, but was still a babyface. And one of my friends brought a picture for Bob Backlund to autograph. And we got up in line. He presented the picture to Bob Backlund, and it was a picture of Bob in the camel clutch from the Iron Sheik. Not a picture of him standing with the championship, not a picture of him dominating his opponent, no, being made humble. And because of that, shortly after that, Bob Backlund turned heel. And we always blame my friend Scott for doing it, because he gave him that picture, it affected something in Bob's mind, and he snapped, and boom, he started hurting people and wanted to become president and all that stuff. So Scott Scarsdale, it's your fault, and you know it. And now Walter is tweeting him and confirming the story. So.
Yeah. So with that little funny conundrum out of the way, let's get on with the show itself. So we are talking arguably the most underrated Survivor Series pay-per-view top to bottom of all time. And that's WWF Survivor Series 1995. So, we've covered quite a few 1995 pay-per-views on this podcast.
Terrible.
Yeah, we've done King of the Ring, we did SummerSlam. Why not do Survivor Series? But unlike most of the pay-per-views of 1995 and all of wrestling, we actually get a really good one. This was a really good show. Why? Well, we're going to talk about it. So, some stats about Survivor Series 1995 before we get into the foo and everything else. So, Survivor Series 1995 took place at the US Air Arena in Landover, Maryland, suburb of Washington, D.C., with an attendance of 14,500, 12,500 of which paid. Live gate of $250,000, with pay-per-view buys at $140,000. Compared to the year prior, 1994, the attendance in Livegate was up from 1994, but the pay-per-view buys were down from 1994. As far as compared to the rest of the shows in 1995, Survivor Series was the 4th highest in attendance, 4th highest in Livegate, and 3rd lowest in pay-per-view buys. Just the next month, In Your House 5, drawing only about 90,000 buys, was the lowest bought pay-per-view of the year, and probably the lowest bought show during that time.
A long time, yeah.
And also, one thing, this was the first Survivor Series on a Sunday night.
because every other Survivor Series was Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving Eve.
Which is something I miss, I'll be honest. I do miss Survivor Series.
Thanksgiving was either Starrcade or Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, with the network, they could probably do Survivor Series on Thanksgiving Eve.
Mm-hmm.
They could.
They
Be
very
like
well
a one-off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see them do it on Thanksgiving or
I'd
Thanksgiving
love
Eve.
a Thursday night pay-per-view again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that would be fun. I remember specifically like sitting there with the family, scarfing down dinner as fast as I could to make sure I was ready to go to watch the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Basically how it works with me, I have my Thanksgiving dinner at like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, you're one
at
of
my
those
grandma's.
people too?
Yeah.
My wife's family does that. I find it very annoying.
Usually with me, it's halftime of the Lions game.
Well, there you go. So, and then before we get into the food, so quick note with the business around this time. Yes, still towards the end of the wrestling recession, but this is around the time things started to gradually go up. However, as we would see it, the business wouldn't go on a real boom until about the second half of 1997. Going forward, so we're starting to get to that point. It's still gonna be a while, but we're getting there. But Scott, enough of my rambling. On with the food. What do we got on board tonight?
All right, before I get to the food, I want to say shout out to Ricky and to Russell who are hanging out with the chat with us right now. So hello, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Ricky and Russell. Where's Robert? We got to get Robert, too.
Yes. Yep, we got him in there. Ricky almost typed it all in there, but he cut it off at the first word there, Levi. You should know what I'm talking about. And there you go, Ricky. There's your face from Levi that you were looking to get because you typed that in there. Yes. Not breaking kayfabe. Very proud of him. Look at that. Look at that. Very nice. All right. I'll move on to the foo now, and he can keep staring at Ricky with daggers in his eyes. All right. For the foo, Survivor Series 1995, coming at you from Washington, D.C. We have Mullet Mania, because 90s. We have the Rob Zombie dude in the front row. We have a fake Bill Clinton, one broken face, double crossing, botching, ref bumping, one frog splash, one doctor bomb, ironically from the doctor, one top rope Hurricane Rana, two rocker droppers, one top rope power bomb, one sky twister press, two German suplexes, one top rope plancha to the floor, two pile drivers, one superplex, one racken, two tombstones, three choke slams, moonsault press, two razor's edges, two super kicks, one Pearl River plunge, one figure four, one squisher, one snake eyes, and two jackknife power bombs. Walt knows why I did that. For the foo, we have racket foo, guardrail foo, stair foo, post foo, chair foo, turnbuckle foo, cable foo, and table foo.
Quite a bit of foo on this night.
There was no foo until we got to the main event.
Yeah.
And it was
then it was Foo Mania. Sabu Foo. Safu.
Three live foo.
Squisher?
Squisher?
I finally figured out what a squisher was. I finally figured out what a swisher was. It's what Big Boss Man did.
Yep.
The running where he throws.
Yep. Sit the guy on the second rope with his throat and drop on his back. Yep.
Yep. I think doesn't Dustin do that now too? Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah. Well, with all that said and done, let's get on to the actual show itself, and we kick things off. And notice there's going to be a bit of a trend with this card. It's a 6-match card, 4 traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Matches, 2 singles matches, but how it's structured, I'm going to let you know when we get there. So we kick things off with the first of 4 traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Matches. We have Team Bodied Honors of Skip, Radford, Dr. Tom Pritchard, and the 1-2-3 Kid versus the underdogs of Barry Horowitz, Bob Holly, Hakushi, and Marty Jannetty. Yeah, you look at the teams here, the underdogs team's probably one of the more makes the most sense teams,
more balanced team
in Survivor Series history, because every one of them, maybe not so much Hakushi, but Horowitz, Holly, and Jannetty were all underdogs to a lot
Bob
of fans.
Holly, by the way, Bob Holly replaced Avatar on this team. 1, 2, 3 Kid replaced Jean-Pierre Lafitte.
Now, that's why I was going to point that out. Now, here's the thing. If Jean-Pierre Lafitte was in this match, he would have been the only guy on this entire show who was still actively working. PCO.
Yeah, which is crazy to think. Meanwhile, the Bodied Honest team, what? That's all I have to say is, what?
Well, this was probably the tryout for Dr. Tom to eventually become Zip.
Yeah, he became Zip a month later. So
Yeah.
And whatever.
Bonnie
mean,
Donna in
it-
training, Radford, Louis
Yeah,
the
that
Lonely
Radford,
Kid, who
yeah,
just
that whole
turned
thing.
heel.
Yep. And the 1, 2, 3 Kid turned heel. The what was it? The Monday
just
night
a few weeks prior to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had
joined the $1
the
million corporation and everything, and
that was the non-title match between Razor and Sid, where Kid was the referee.
And fast count. And they built that up before the match started. They were talking about that. And then just before before everything got going, out comes Razor Ramon to try to get some payback at the Kid, only to get sent to the back. And you'll see this throughout the whole match.
He's pissed off at the Kid all night.
All night long he was angry at him. And you see it during this match. You see a few shots of Razor backstage watching on the monitor being so pissed.
throwing monitors
throwing
around.
monitors. Yep. And
But
It was
with-
a non-title match, Razor. Calm down.
You're supposed
also-
to be my friend.
Man, what
the
are you gonna
original
do
"You're
like
supposed to be my friend."
Hey man, why you gotta do me like that? Huh? Thank you, Chico.
Always treat me like a little kid, Razor.
Oh god.
two things you definitely realize about this match. Ton of heat on the Kid. He is white heat this kid's got. And Hakushi is freaking over as fuck with this match. My god, I forgot how over he was with this match.
Who was this?
Hakushi.
Oh, well, fuck. Hakushi was doing shit back then that nobody was doing on American television.
What was the show that we saw these two wrestle, Kid and Hakushi? Was that SummerSlam?
SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Go figure.
Yep.
And think the roles were reversed that night.
Jinsei Shinzaki was an absolute workhorse. I mean, the guy was he just could do almost anything in the ring as well, and he was easily he was doing stuff on TV that we weren't seeing yet.
Right.
He was doing. Sasuke was doing the great. Sasuke did the space flying tiger flip, the Sasuke special, but Shinzaki brought it to the U.S. and that was like, whoa, wait a minute, unheard of stuff.
And
You know who else was a workhorse in this match? Marty Jannetty.
yeah,
Holy cow!
Yeah, you got to give him credit. Yeah, you got to give him credit for that, man.
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah. Arthur Jones, what's up? He just said Hakushi was over until 1996. Yeah.
In America.
In America at least. But for this match, I mean, really, and I even rewatched James, your episode of From the Vault in preparation for this episode, and I will definitely agree that this match was mostly just to showcase the freshly heel 1, 2, 3 Kid, to kind of show off what he could do as a heel. Yeah, just to
Had to do something with him.
If you were familiar with his work in Global, then you know he would be he's going to be a very solid heel. This is, yeah.
Solid, sarcastic heel.
I think most WWF fans at that point had no clue about that stuff.
True.
Nah.
Yeah, very true.
If you came home from school at 4:00 every Monday through Friday, in
You
the
got to
early
see Global.
90s, and put
Yep.
ESPN, you'd watch.
Walt, I almost took a sip of water. I almost did a spit take. You are so lucky.
That's right. You turned on ESPN at 4:00 when you got home, and there it was.
Yep.
It replaced Legends of World Class
Yep. And AWA.
and the AWA. Yeah.
Because AWA was gone.
Yeah. Well, despite, like I said, that this match was essentially to showcase 1, 2, 3 Kid, still a pretty
good.
damn good opening match, for sure.
Definitely.
You got a lot of guys that worked really hard in that match.
Yep.
Yeah, crowd's into it.
But how about that fucking top rope power bomb by Jannetty on Candido?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was something you didn't see back then either.
Nope. And then Candido would go on to use that in ECW. There's a missed shot of him doing it to Spike Dudley. It was on the intro to the shows and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Candido, man, what a freaking workhorse back then too.
So
Just
good.
right on the cusp of like becoming a big name, and then they hit him with that shitty ass gimmick just to get Sonny on television and get Tammy a spot.
Cornette was so fucking livid about that because Cornette helped groom that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Are you fucking kidding me?
And on top of that, like, and going back to when we were talking about with SummerSlam earlier in the year, when Barry Horowitz had the match with Skip, this was the end of that feud to some degree, the end of that feud. Yeah. And Horowitz was still over by this point. People were chanting for him during this match, which is like, good Lord.
His stock had somewhat fallen by this point.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, there was a Barry chant in the match. You got to give him that.
Yeah, and then shortly, pretty much right after this match, Barry went back to be an enhancement again.
And then I think he was in the Rumble, and then he was gone after that.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
So the eliminations in this... Oh, go ahead.
I said he went to WCW for a little bit as well.
Right. I think he was one of Goldberg's victims in a streak.
Yeah, I think he was.
Because why wouldn't he
was
be?
Kind of regulated a Saturday night show, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So the eliminations in this match went as followed. Tom Pritchard eliminated by Bob Holly in 5 minutes 17 seconds. Then Bob Holly eliminated by Skip at 5 minutes 23 seconds. Talk about a quick double right there.
How about I eliminate your ass, kick your ass, and take the whole match?
And I get the belt.
Oh, God, Bob. Anyways, Hakushi eliminated by Radford at 8 minutes 10 seconds. Then Radford eliminated by Barry Horowitz at 11 minutes 26 seconds, basically ending his shot of being the next Body Donna, because Sonny was livid after that. Barry Horowitz eliminated by 1-2-3 Kid at 12 minutes 25 seconds. Skip eliminated by Mari Jannetty at 15 minutes 2 seconds, and then we get a nice little match within a match thing between Jannetty and the Kid for about 3
Former
minutes.
tag team champions.
Right.
That's a discussion we should eventually have. Is what was the best match within a match in Survivor Series? You ever notice that? Like the final elimination.
Yeah.
I'm going to nominate Bret Hart and Ted DiBiase from 1990. That
I was just going to say that.
And I would also nominate Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, 2003.
Yes.
2005.
Yes.
And 2005.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Yep.
From 2014? Yeah, 2014.
2014.
Shit, that's been 6 years.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the hell?
It's weird. It feels like
and I still can't believe it's been 6.5 years since I was at WrestleMania.
God. Time is going by fast.
I know.
It's faster the older you get, trust me.
But anyways.
But it happens.
And Arthur just commented, Radford was like the Red Rooster in 1989 Survivor Series. Oh, the fucking Red Rooster. Fuck off.
Help me out with the timeline. Did Spicoli die while doing Radford, or was that
no? No, he was 98. He was in ECW.
He was in WCW.
Oh, WCW.
He was,
sorry, that's right, yeah.
Scott Hall's lackey at the time, because it was supposed to be, I think it was Super Brawl, it was supposed to be Zbyszko versus Louis Spicoli on pay-per-view, but
so back on with this match, you get that nice little match within a match for 3 minutes 43 seconds between Jannetty and the Kid, and then you see out comes Sid, who we'll see later in the night, come out and help the Kid pick up the win with the distraction. And in the end, Mari Jannetty eliminated by the 1-2-3 Kid at 18 minutes 45 seconds, which in turn, 1-2-3 Kid, Skip, Radford, and Tom Pritchard, the Body Donnas, win this match with the 1-2-3 Kid being the sole survivor.
And Arthur's actually asking, who was worse, Rad or the Red Rooster?
Red Rooster.
What was the worst gimmick?
Well, who was worse, just overall? Radford or Red Rooster? I'd say Radford.
So,
come on, Terry Taylor was still pretty, he still made the best of it.
Yeah, he. I'm not going to say it.
I guess.
I'm not going to say it. Moving on. So.
What?
So,
when he got fed up with Bobby the Brain shit? He's like, you want something piece of me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Arthur just said who was worse in the Survivor Series matches, Rad or Red Rooster?
Red Rooster was worse. Brad Radford actually had an elimination. Red Rooster was actually...
He was just there to be in the match because we just needed someone in the match.
Usually they usually have one guy that's going to get eliminated early, so that way the fans can get a pop. Like, all right, the good guys are up. That was Red Rooster in that match. That was Hogan and Savage against the Twin Towers, I believe, that team.
Yeah, that was the main event of '88.
Yep. Yeah, Rooster went first.
So now we get into the second match of the night, and the second of 4 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team matches. You have Team Bertha Faye with Bertha Faye, Aja Kong, Lioness Asuka, and Tomoko Watanabe versus the team of Alundra Blaze, Shaparita Sari, Kyoko Inoue, and Sasuke Hagasawa.
You're close.
I was close. I was trying to practice so much this morning, I still fuck it up.
Kyoko Inoue.
I applaud you.
Inoue.
Well. Yeah, you did all right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the old
and Sasuke Hasagawa. There we go. That was the one I thought I fucked up the most. I'm like, damn it! I was practicing these all morning.
Watanabe.
Watanabe, whatever.
Watanabe. I thought I said Watanabe.
Watanabe, like Ken Watanabe.
I was trying to think wontons for some reason. This
was the Old Japan Women's crossover because, as you know, Alundra Blaze before in between WCW as Medusa and coming to WWF as Alundra Blaze, she went to All Japan Women's. She was also in All Japan Women's before WCW as well. And this was just a lot of the people that the people coming in that Alundra has wrestled, including Bertha Faye. Bertha Faye came from Japan as well. She spent about 90% of her career in Japan as Monster Ripper. Or in Canada as Ronda Singh.
Well, if somebody new in the comments, there are Tube Wings. Hello, Tube Wings. They haven't seen you here before. Half the ladies in this match are still wrestling 25 years later.
He's right.
Watanabe, Inoue, and Hasagawa.
Yeah, Aja Kong was on AEW for a few while there.
Did they have Aja and Awesome Kong, or did they ever get to do that? Or did that happen?
No. Just the spots in those battle royals. That's about it.
Yeah, and Arthur will answer that question as we go along with this match.
Now, here's the sad thing, though, is that you would think on paper, with the way these girls go in Japan, you'd think we'd be in for a banger. No,
and we're not. Well, the referee fucks up at least one pinfall. The spots are going pretty fast, and they're not giving the crowd a lot of time to really take them in.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about Kyoko Inoue's elimination?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Look at this perspective this way, Scott. As far as Kyoko Inoue, you see she was in there very quickly, in and out, okay? This woman was almost the equivalent of Tenryu in Japan, as far as popularity goes and name and such. And she's in and out in 30 seconds, almost like a minute in this match.
I want to say either it was a timing issue that the ref's being told they got to start cutting it short, or the ref fucked up and just counted when he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But it comes off really fast and doesn't get a reaction because the crowd's like, what the hell?
The crowd. This was an experiment. This was like a smorgasbord of what was to come in the future of the women's division at this point.
Reaction from the other wrestlers, including Alundra, just kind of looking around like,
yep.
That wasn't what the hell we do now? Because then it was 3-on-1, and they all come at Blaze, and she has to kick them off, and fight from underneath, babyface type stuff.
You notice Ronda Singh, as soon as she gets eliminated, she just rolls right out there, no-sells everything, and just leaves.
I think this was the last match.
Yeah, she was. I thought I saw her yelling at Downtown Bruno or Harvey.
Yeah, I did see her kind of get mad at him. It was for like a split second before the camera zoomed back in.
It's like Sabu with Fonzie.
Well, they were both on their period that night. Okay,
I've seen Sabu yell at Fonzie in person. Have you seen that show?
Oh God!
This match was really to set up Aja Kong versus Alundra Blaze.
Yep.
Reportedly, it was supposed to be the Royal Rumble, and then Alundra Blaze was cut, and
then took the and then the rest is history. Tossed the women's title in the trash can on Nitro.
Alundra Blaze only had 2 other matches after this one. It was Raw taping and then taping day after that, and it was a dark match, and that was it.
That was it. Yep. And mind you, this was the last time, and this is the last time we ever had the women's division in a very competitive sense, all right? Because let's be brutally honest, when they brought the women's title back, from that point on to about 2014, it was very hit and miss. I mean, yeah, you had some really good girls come in. Lita and Trish worked their ass off.
Victoria, Mickie James, Beth Phoenix.
Victoria, Molly Holly, Jazz, what's her name there? Ivory and, oh, shit.
But yeah, the point being, there was a very good, strong.
Coming in,
but still, we were stuck with.
Let's be honest, the John Laurinaitis days went where he was looking more for the through the Victoria's Secret catalog rather than going to wrestling shows and scouting talent, to build their roster. This right here was pretty much the last time WWF had women's wrestling in a very competitive sense before the women's revolution, if you want to call it, came in 2014.
Yeah. And, indirectly responsible for that wave of, quote, terrible divas, Trish, unfortunately, because WWE tried to replicate the success of Trish of coming from no wrestling experience and then somehow becoming arguably one of the top 5 best of all time. Kept trying to replicate it. Some had worked, most of them did not.
Yeah.
So indirectly Trish was responsible for that.
That's true.
So that's all I wanted to say about that. Yeah. But back to the match. So the Eliminations.
Thinking this match was like, oh yeah, it's got the All Japan Women's match on there, and then you watch it again, like, oh yeah, it's got that match on there.
It was like a week or 2 weeks after that, WCW had a Japan Women's match on their World War III show, and it was better than this.
Yeah. A bunch of those women all went to WCW. Medusa, obviously, she really didn't do anything when she went. I believe Bertha Faye went there. We saw
it later on.
Yeah,
you had Bull Nakano.
I think Bull Nakano, Chaparrito, I believe was there. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing, because these women also, just like Wakushi was in the first match, were doing things you did not see on TV. When Chaparrita Hisari hit the Sky Twister press, I mean, holy cow! When did you see that on American wrestling television? Never.
And that's like one of the most memorable moments in the match.
And also, along with Aja Kong's suplexes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kira Hokuto says 2 wings. Yeah, Malia Hasaka, she would eventually come in too. Yeah. But yeah, so WCW would start to gain from the loss of WWE here.
Even that didn't last long.
No, it didn't. I mean, it was an experiment. They were trying to get over with Japanese promotions and so forth, but sometimes it just doesn't translate well. No pun intended. But yeah, this match too, as James was saying, it was, it's trying to get Aja somewhat of a heat on her, and it just doesn't work.
Look who got all the eliminations in this match.
And we will get to those. So the eliminations were as followed. Linus Asuka eliminated by Alundra Blaze at 1 minute 41 seconds. Saki Hasagawa eliminated by Aja Kong at 3 minutes 58 seconds. Chaparrita Asari eliminated by Aja Kong in 4 minutes 25 seconds. Kyoko Inoue eliminated by Aja Kong at 5 minutes 2 seconds. Tomoko Watanabe eliminated by Alundra Blaze at 6 minutes 30 seconds. Bertha Faye eliminated by Alundra Blaze at 7 minutes 11 seconds. And then Alundra Blaze eliminated by Aja Kong in 10 minutes 1 second. In the end, Aja, Bertha, Linus Asuka, and Tomoko Watanabe win the match with Aja Kong as the sole survivor. So 2 straight matches with a sole survivor. And the only 2 matches with a sole survivor.
I think Aja Kong still has the record for most eliminations, or tied with the most eliminations in a Survivor Series match.
With 4, along with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman.
There you go.
Except in this case, Aja eliminated an entire team.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a record that a lot of people don't realize.
No, they don't bring it up.
No, they don't ever bring it up.
Arthur Jones asked, who had the more dangerous back fist, Aja Kong or Awesome Kong? The Iraqan. I'd say Aja Kong does. Because I think Awesome Kong is better at controlling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Nia Jax is in the running for who's the more dangerous one.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Oh, boy. But anyways, now we get into the next match on the card, and the end of the first half, and this is where you see the trend. You start each half off with 2 Survivor Series matches, and you end with a singles. And we get the first of 2 singles matches, Goldust versus Bam Bam Bigelow. So Goldust had debuted, well, they had started the teases back around late August, early September, with those cool vignettes, and then debuted on pay-per-view at the previous In Your House. And then he gets this match here with Bam Bam, and Bam Bam at this time, he's on his way out.
This is his last match.
After he had issues with the Kliq backstage and such.
That's a recurring pattern on the show too. PCO is not in this. Was not in the first match because he got let go because of issues with the Kliq.
Because of the match in Montreal with Diesel.
Right. When you listen to Kevin's side of it, okay, that's Kevin's side. I don't know if I've ever heard Pierre's side of the thing, where it's Montreal and Pierre's like, "Oh, Montreal, maybe I babyface tonight, crowd behind me." And Nash is like, "Okay, we can try that." And we go out there, and the crowd's going, "Diesel, Diesel," and it's like, I think it's more 99% me, 1% you. And Kevin's like, "Okay, you're so fucking over. I'll work heel." So he's got PCO and a goddamn chin lock, and the whole crowd's popping for Diesel. And Kevin's like, "You want us to try turning this around?" "No." "Fine, we'll have a shitty match." Now that's Kevin's side of it. I don't know what PCO's side of it is, but that's supposedly the problem he had with the Kliq.
We have a good match, and I'll be over, and everyone go banana.
Go banana. It's the same thing you heard from Shane Douglas with Razor Ramon. Same thing you heard with Bigelow and the Kliq. Although the Kliq would say, "Hey, we don't like him, Bigelow, but he can play on our team." Because they saw
Scott Bigelow, he can be on our team any day of the week.
Right.
PCO should have went to Montreal. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ryan.
Love you, Ryan.
Yes.
So with all that said, this match was really just to get Goldust over. Wasn't really anything really at all.
And then putting the new guy over on his way out.
There you go.
And on top of that, and they were playing it up on the commentary the whole match, that, how is Goldust putting this beating on Bam Bam when he's quite a name? Well, Bam Bam at this point, he was just like, just let me go, redeem myself somewhere else, which he'd eventually get at ECW a few years later. Thank God for that.
ECW, then WCW, and yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny, fun fact about Bam Bam in 1995, earlier in the year, one of my favorite comedies of all time, Major Payne, came out, and he was in the movie. He was in with fucking Damon Wayans staring him down like, "I think it's time for you to leave. I heard your mama's so fat that she played pool with the planets." And then, boom! And he's like, "I'm going to take this right foot, or this left foot, and put it across your face. Don't give me that Billy Jack bullshit." Whoop! Kick to the nuts, and punch to the throat, kick to the nuts. "You said you was going to kick me in the face." Did I stutter? Whack! That's still one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't care what anyone says. But with comedy aside, yeah, but Goldust defeated Bam Bam Bigelow in 8 minutes, 18 seconds. With
a bulldog.
Running bulldog. Yep.
Yeah. The curtain call wasn't a thing yet. Neither was Shattered Dreams.
Nope.
Neither was Marlena.
Yeah, Marlena would come a couple months later.
Mm-hmm.
At the Royal Rumble.
Yep. So now that's the first half of the show out of the way. The shorter half, because now we're going to get into some long territory. And we kick things off in the second half with the third of 4 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series elimination tag team matches. We have the Royals, King Mabel, Jerry the King Lawler, Isaac Yankem DDS, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus the Dark Side, Undertaker,
AKA the BSK.
The BSK.
That's right.
Undertaker, Savio Vega, Henry Godwin, and Fatu. Now, when you look at both teams in a kayfabe sense, the Royals is another case similar to the Underdogs of the most makes sense team in Survivor Series history, because you have King of the Ring winner Mabel, Jerry the King Lawler, his dentist, and a Royal Blue Blood.
You got two WrestleMania victims on that team also.
Yep. Yep.
Multiple WrestleMania victims.
Yes.
Yep. And then you see
Five times.
Yeah. God, can you believe that? And then the Dark Side, from a kayfabe sense, what? But in a shoot, makes perfect sense because they're all best buds. Yep. And of course, this was
Undertaker getting his buddies a payday.
Yeah, and good on him too.
But backstage, be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna get." Oh, see, wait. This is how Taker talks. Hey guys, I'm gonna get you guys a real good payday at Survivor Series. We're gonna have a great match. It'll be a good time.
Oh, thanks,
I'm going to do all the work. You just stand there and get paid.
That's right.
Yep. Except for Savio. Savio gets the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, he does.
He must have lost a game of dice backstage.
Who's going to be the one that takes the punishment of this match?
Taking all the heat, brother. He gets the shit beat. Road Warrior Hawk's a pile driver too.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. But, of course, the stories of this match, you got a couple of different feuds going on during this match. You got Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Henry Godwin going on at this point. That would culminate at the following pay-per-view in the Hog Pen
Arkansas Hog Pen match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And then you have
Hillbilly Jim as the
Shanghai
referee.
Pierce. Shanghai Pierce.
And then you had Undertaker and King Mabel's feud going on at this time, and this was Undertaker's first match on pay-per-view back for after the previous month, when in shoot what had happened was I actually kind of forget the whole story.
Somebody clotheslined Undertaker and broke his orbital bone.
And then they did an angle on Raw. And then they do an angle on Raw where Mabel and Yokozuna beat the hell out of Undertaker with leg drops over his face, crushing it, quote unquote.
See, what had happened was what they taped on Raw, that happened before what happened in shoot. So it's like, and then it aired afterwards, so they played it all together. Like the leg drop was what broke his face, which wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and then we would see the debut of Phantom Mask Undertaker that would last for 2 months. And it's kind of an underrated look for Undertaker having that mask, which the commentators were all like, what is that on his face? It's a protective mask. Shouldn't it be obvious?
He's Super Undertaker. He's Super Undertaker. Look how easily he dispatched of everybody.
The dead man.
He, like Aja Kong, had eliminated the whole team.
Almost.
Well,
and we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Everybody's eliminations.
So the eliminations were as followed. Jerry the King Lawler eliminated first by The Undertaker at 12 minutes, 19 seconds. Then Isaac Yankem DDS eliminated by The Undertaker at 12 minutes, 50 seconds. Then Hunter Hearst Helmsley eliminated by The Undertaker with one of the best choke slams of all time.
That was sweet.
That inside, yeah.
At 13 minutes, 35 seconds. And then King Mabel counted out at 14 minutes, 21 seconds. The whole Dark Side survived and won this match.
And don't forget chokeslamming Mo after the match was over.
Yeah, after.
Mo money, Mo problems.
Mo. Must kill Mo. Simpsons reference.
Oh, God.
Mo better.
Yes, excellent. Kill Mo.
Must kill Mo.
He's unavailable.
Then
give me his non-union Mexican equivalent. And I love that. Oh, God, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. All right.
And if any of you guys have watched OSW Review, they have gotten Mo over.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, man. Anyways, moving on to the penultimate match of the night and the final traditional Survivor Series Elimination Tag Match, the Wild Card match. You have, on one team, you have Ahmed Johnson, British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, and Psycho Sid versus another team of Dean Douglas, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, and Yokozuna. So people might be like...
Also, both teams are managed by Jim Cornette.
Yes.
Yeah. And so people who are watching this that have probably never seen this match are like, wait a minute, why you call this a wild card match? Well, you look at the teams, it's a mix. You have faces teaming with heels, vice versa. Now, this is a kind of match...
there was no build-up for it either. It was just like announced, like out of the blue.
By Gorilla Monsoon on
I'm going to be the most fan-friendliest WWF president ever, so I'm going to pair all these enemies together, and they're going to have a match.
Which, to be fair, despite the lack or no build at all, this
really
is
the only thing this had was Shawn Michaels' return from him being beat up by the cheerleaders.
Oh, that's the other thing. You notice how much Perfect is shitting on Michaels in the commentary?
Yeah.
Because he's shooting on him. He's like, hey.
Yeah, we forgot. This was Mr. Perfect's return to the company.
That's right. It's
right before the show started, he comes out to a big pop.
Big pop.
He was gone for a year and a half. Then he almost went to WCW during that period.
Yep. A lot of negotiations going on there. But yeah, Perfect gets on Michaels. They're like, he just gave it the belt because he didn't want to lay down for it. He gets that line in there. And yeah, he got beat up by that Marine or a bunch of Marines. I think it was just one, and he didn't know how many was beating him up at the time, which is true. So,
yeah, true story.
Yeah, so he was really giving him shit.
Yeah. But anyways, as I was going to say, while this match had no build at all, the idea of doing a match, I mean, technically we get it with the whole Raw versus SmackDown thing, which, to be honest, I feel like they need to stop doing that for Survivor Series.
You need stakes.
But
if you don't have stakes, it ain't worth shit.
Exactly. And I feel like this kind of a match where you have faces and heels mixed together, aside from the brand warfare matches, should bring this back more often because it adds something unique to the match. And like, if the teams can get along and so on. And you notice, there are only 3 baby faces in this match. Shawn, Razor, and Ahmed. And Ahmed had just debuted just shortly before this show. I believe around the same time as Goldust did.
You had feuds within this, because you had Shawn and Sid. You had Shawn against Shane Douglas. You had Razor and Shane Douglas. You had a few things here and there. And then, of course, the real wild card being Ahmed Johnson, who had just come into the company.
Yeah. And really, they did kind of try and showcase Ahmed a little bit, because he did get the most eliminations in this match. So, minor showcase for Ahmed. And to be fair with Ahmed, as much shit as I've given him over the past couple of years for how stupid he is, he was a guy who did deserve more looking back, because if only he was good on the mic, I think he would have been something. If he was just good on the microphone and not been made of glass in the end.
He kind of sucked in this match, though. I mean, he had a full river plunge on on Razor, or was it a spine? He had a spine buster on Razor. And what does he do? He goes over to where his 2 legal partners are both standing there, ready to be tagged in, and gets on the middle, on the bottom rope, and goes, yeah, just so Razor can set him up for the Razor's Edge.
Yes,
it just looks so awkward and stupid.
Really weird.
But besides that, for a match that was random, it was a hell of a match. These 2 teams put on probably the best of the elimination matches on the show. And
the longest match of the night, too.
Yeah. Yep. Excuse me. So the eliminations were as followed. Dean Douglas eliminated by Shawn Michaels at 7 minutes 30 seconds.
Shocker.
Yeah. Then it'd be a long time before you'd get another one, because the next elimination, Psycho Sid eliminated by Razor Ramon at 16 minutes 18 seconds. Owen Hart eliminated by Ahmed Johnson at 21 minutes 49 seconds. Razor Ramon eliminated by British Bulldog at 24 minutes 8 seconds. with Yokozuna being the last one left, eliminated by Ahmed Johnson at 27 minutes 24 seconds. So Ahmed, Bulldog, Sean, and Sid win, with Sean, Bulldog, and Ahmed surviving. And you'd see it during the match. Razor kind of screw over Team Douglas during
Sean
the beginning.
Super kicked Sid and was like, eh.
And that too. So they kept some
Wasn't
element of
Shane-
story going with that, which I
Wasn't
thought was
Shane
really
gone?
cool.
Wasn't Shane gone like shortly after this?
I think he
Yeah.
was around until after Rumble, I believe.
No, he was there for a few more weeks and then he was gone.
Because '96, I think that's when he won the NWA title, and they like, oh, kiss my ass.
Because I think
No, that
he
was 94 when that happened.
That wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
94.
shit,
Yeah, it was
I got my
before.
time all-
Shane was
I got my
supposed to
time
wrestle
screwed
Ahmed Johnson at the next pay-per-view, but then it turned out to be Buddy Landell.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. Okay, all right, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But wasn't Dean like in Buddy's corner though?
Yeah. Because Shane had a back injury, quote unquote.
Quote unquote, yes.
Mhm.
Incidentally, you realize that on this show is the Triple Threat before they became the Triple Threat.
Yep.
Oh man.
Imagine that, huh?
But
I like Shane Douglas though. Nice guy.
Really nice guy.
just don't give him onions. Just don't give him onions.
No onions. He is definitely allergic to onions. Yes.
I will die.
That lady came over with that cheeseburger, and he looked at it. He said, "Didn't I tell you I can't eat onions?" Oh my God, they put onions on it. He's like, "You trying to kill me?" No, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm like, oh my God, that lady thought he was serious, but no. And I've told the story that a $20 bill may or may not have been defamed with a woo bubble over top of it.
Oh boy.
It's a rumor. Allegedly.
So, and now we get to the main event of the night. No disqualification, no count-out match for the WWF Championship.
Must end by pinfall or submission. No time limit.
Yep. Champion Diesel defending against Bret Hart. So we get to the build-up to this match. Goes back almost a year and a half. You go back to King of the Ring in 94, where you had Bret and Diesel in their first match when it was champion versus champion, because Diesel was Intercontinental Champion at the time. And they put on an amazing match that night that ended in a DQ win for Diesel because of Neidhart interfering and screwing over Bret to win straight up, to set up for Owen and Bret a couple months later at SummerSlam. And then you get the rematch at the Royal Rumble, in which another non-conclusive finish between the two. So they're like, okay, we're doing this for the third match between the two. There's not been a clear-cut winner in either one of the two matches, and Gorilla Monsoon in kayfabe says it's going to be no DQ, no count-out, no time limit, must be pinfall or submission, there must be a winner. And when you look back at the matches with Bret and Diesel, there's really no bad match between these two, and this was the best of all those matches. And I would argue, next to the ladder match from SummerSlam, best match in WWF in 1995.
Yeah. What I also loved about the build-up to this match, you had Diesel, who had hit the jackknife twice, and then the non-conclusive finishes happened. So it's like, would Bret have kicked out, or would he have not? And with Bret, you had him lose the championship at Survivor Series the year prior, had only gotten one rematch, non-conclusive. So for like the last year, Diesel's been holding on to my belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the promo package to this match was really good too.
Diesel doesn't work by the hour, and Bret, he wants to make it a long match. Really love the build, and I love the matches.
Yep. Yeah, just basic psychology with the promos. Oh, what a concept. I'm the big guy. I'm going to use my power to take him out quickly. I'm the small guy. I'm going to make him run around. I'm going to try to keep him out of my way. I'm going to try to
tire him out.
Tire him out.
After 20 minutes, the big guy can't go.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
And Ricky just commented, there's a reason why Brett is one of the best. He can make any opponent look good, even as someone like Diesel. I mean, to be fair...
Let's just say this. At the Royal Rumble, Bret Hart was so good, he got people to boo him against Diesel.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was going to say
I'm not going to pick on Kevin Nash's wrestling abilities.
I was just getting to that. I was just about to get to that. No. I was literally about to say, like, Nash... Okay, say what you will about Nash, about, like, his booking decisions he made in WCW in 99 and so on and blah, blah, blah. For a big guy his size, he was really good. And as James, you even pointed out, people keep saying, oh, Kevin can only have good matches with Shawn and Brett. Look at the match he had with Razor at SummerSlam the year prior. Is Razor Ramon Shawn or Brett? No, but they still had a great match. Undertaker at Mania 12, a great match and the most underrated match of the streak.
The one thing also about Kevin is, this is a guy who spent his entire career wrestling on television.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the bulk of it. I mean, except for the Indies, the bulk of his career, his prime run. So he started as one of the Master Blasters, working his way up the card. Then he became Oz, and then Vinny Vegas, and
thank God Shawn Michaels saw him on WCW Saturday Night. Thought, you know what, I want to bring him over.
Yep.
Then he gave his release. No, it's like, well, I'm going to just quit the wrestling business. Let me just fax my release. And then he faxed it right to WWF at WCW headquarters.
Yep. Gangsta shit right there. And then he gets paired up with Shawn Michaels, who at the time nobody could touch, and he gets to watch Shawn and learn from Shawn and wrestle Shawn. So you learn, you get good when you get to work with good people. And that's what happened.
To be on the outside to watch Shawn versus Razor every single night.
Every single night.
And then you get to Rumble 94, where they coined the Diesel spot when he went on a tear and got over with that, and then you gradually
shit. That's my next champion. God damn it.
I like him.
And then you gradually start building him up. You have him win the IC title from Razor. Then you put him in the amazing match with Brett at the King of the Ring. Then another amazing match against Razor at SummerSlam. Then
win the tag team belts.
Win the tag titles. And then you do the face turn, essentially, at Survivor Series with him and Shawn.
Which I covered in my most previous
episode. And the pop was huge.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the next night. You guys don't mind having Diesel as your world champion? Okay, yes.
And then he beats Backlund for the title at a MSG house show.
Yep, Diesel was very much over. Very much over.
He was hot.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that during the bulk of his reign, like early in his reign, like around after the Rumble. Mm-hmm. It's like, and James, you covered this on the Diesel video. It's a shame that they made him go from... It's kind of the same problem they had with Roman Reigns after the Shield broke up. You have a guy who's a badass, and then you turn him into a goofball.
Yep. Smiling too much.
And it does not work.
Everything that made him popular in the first place.
Take it away.
And... As Kevin Nash said, I'm singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" at Titan Towers.
Oh.
And it also doesn't help. And it also doesn't help that in his WrestleMania match with Shawn, the hype package, he was barely featured. Then again, that was Celebrity Night.
Shawn was trying to make himself look good.
Yeah,
during that match,
and that too.
Yeah, I mean, he made the best thing. Don't get me wrong, the man can get lazy. I know firsthand. I worked with the man. He could get lazy. He'd rather be somewhere else sometimes.
Are any more matches happening?
To his credit, yeah. I mean, it was a long freaking night. He wanted to go home, so I don't blame him.
Yeah. But Kevin Nash gets a lot of shit for that. But also, he had this very strong run in a bad time in the business that money was not coming in.
He had nobody to work with.
No heels to work with. They had to lower him down to Mabel.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But the business at the time was not good. And the joke always was like, it was one of the lowest paid champions in history. And I think it was Gerald Briscoe said, because you were one of the lowest drawing champions in history, but nobody was drawing back then. So that's kind of a null issue nowadays.
And shocker to people who are hearing this, But Diesel was a bigger drawing champion than Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Sad but
You're not
true.
wrong.
Sad but true.
Take the
And Rey
pandemic
Mysterio.
era. Take the pandemic
CM Punk.
era out of the question because this is an outlier. Take
Mhm.
away pandemic era. The lowest drawing in terms of attendance champion in WWE history is Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
It's true.
It's true though. It's true.
And even Eddie admitted that he felt like it was his fault to the point where he offered to drop the title to Bradshaw.
Mhm.
So,
But the match with Diesel and Brett, it was a fucking great match.
as I said, next to the ladder match at SummerSlam, best match the company had all year.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
a smart
love,
match.
and also, first time ever in WWF/E history, a table spot, which was a big
True.
deal at the time because
Yeah,
it's
that was
like
huge.
that was not done before. So we
Good
got our
stuff.
first table spot, and it's interesting. You get to that moment, like after Brad went through a table, you see Diesel go over, and he's like, "Oh crap, are you all right?" And then brings him back into the ring, and he's thinking, "Should I beat him? Should I not?" And tries to get him up for the jackknife. Brett slumps down. Picks him up again. Brett, fold ya! Inside cradle.
Gotcha. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Smart match.
God damn motherfucker!
Motherfucker, my favorite kick out ever.
And then immediately gets rid of Earl
match.
and then beats the hell
Knew
out
what
of
was
Brett.
coming.
And then Diesel goes back to being a badass again.
I was watching the
He
match.
starts-
I knew what was going to happen after the pinfall, and I screamed out, "Motherfucker!" My wife goes, "What's wrong?" It's okay.
God
But
damn
then-
motherfucker.
But smart match. It's slow paced. Diesel does his shit. Brett hog ties him to the rope there. Brilliant. Smart tactics once again. Great psychology. And that finish, what you just touched upon, like, oh, wait a minute. Is he really hurt? Do I want to do this? Maybe I should just beat him. The internal turmoil happening in his head. Brett's like, fuck you. 1, 2, 3. You motherfucker. And then beat him afterward. I'm back.
Showed sympathy one time too many.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm only gonna slap hands with people who are wearing my Diesel glove
My
because I
black
know
glove.
they're with me.
Hey, I'm in the office talking to the suits and the big marketing suits. Hey, big man, we need you to smile more. We need you to be more politically correct.
Which began one of the best runs of the Diesel character that
Mhm.
couple of months until he left.
Yeah, because then after this, he had that match with Owen at the next show, and then in the Rumble, screwed over Taker. Then he gets the rematch.
Flipped him off.
Yeah, the first middle finger in WWF. And then get pulled under the ring in the cage match with Brett, and then you have the great match with Taker, and then you end off on pay-per-view with an amazing match with Shawn. So overall, Survivor Series 1995, hands down the best show of 95, which ain't saying much, but it's still a really
You
good
made-
show.
Best show of '95.
Yep.
Yeah. And as I said, arguably the most underrated Survivor Series show top to bottom of all time. Not really anything terrible on this show, just a couple of matches that were kind of there.
It's an entertaining show with a really good main event. So
Yeah. Oh, and how, before we get to everything else, how can we forget talking about the Bill Clinton impersonator?
Oh, yeah. Yep,
Who
of course.
freaked out with his, quote, Secret Service during Bam Bam's pyro.
Mhm.
Fucking stupid. Anyways.
Two Wings just
they
said that.
love picking on presidents.
Hang on a second here. Two Wings just said you could put Brett Bulldog from Seasons.
I
Beating-
forgot about that match. Damn it.
Yes,
Match
that
95.
that
I
was
forgot
a great
about that
match
one.
too.
Good
I
call,
forgot
Two
about
Wings.
that one.
That's a good call.
Seasons Beatings, the Clash of Champions show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is that the name of the show? Is that
That was
correct?
in the I think it was
Inner
something
House
different.
Seasons
Clash of
Beatings, yep.
Champions. It
What
was
Seasons
called.
Beatings?
It was Seasons
Yeah,
because it was
was it in
December,
your house?
so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember like the second or third, the third or fourth Clash of Champions was called Seasons Beatings. I
Yeah,
remember
right.
the commercial with Cornette dressed in the Santa Claus suit and talk about Nightmare Before
All
Christmas.
several are celebrating seasons greetings. WCW celebrates seasons beatings.
That was the promo in the commercial.
That's right.
Remember it well.
But now for best match and worst match, I think clear cut best match goes to Brett and Diesel.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mm.
Worst match, For me, I would go with Goldust Bam Bam. Just because it was kind of there and Bam Bam didn't really care. He was just wanting to get the hell out, but put over Goldust. It's either that or the women's match.
I give the women's match the worst match in the show because the finish is flat. There's no reaction whatsoever. At least when Goldust goes over, people kind of react to it.
True.
The experiment with Aja Kong didn't work. And as much as I really hope that match was good, it wasn't. That's just my opinion.
Walt?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brett and Sean for the Brett and Diesel for the best match. Worst match, I'm going to go with the women's match, unfortunately.
And then James?
Well, best match is Brett Diesel. Worst is either Bam Bam Goldust or the women's.
Yeah, you could pick and choose, and you really wouldn't be wrong.
With that, those are low points of the show, and it's just
Now, Levi, when talking about, you usually mention the dark match. You forgot to mention the dark match.
Oh yeah, the Smoking Guns and Public Enemy. And actually, before we get on with questions, yeah, I remember that match started years of problems because Public Enemy was offered.
Let me talk about this.
Okay.
So, this was Public Enemy's tryout match with the WWF. There was a bidding war for Public Enemy between WWF and WCW because Public Enemy was one of the hottest tag acts in the entire country at the time.
I've said this before. Once upon a time, Public Enemy were looked at in the same vein as the Young Bucks.
But they had the tryout match here. Then they chose WCW. And a lot of people in the WWF did not forget that because when they came to the WWF a few years later, they told the Acolytes and they were causing trouble already. And then you had the infamous match on Sunday Night Heat when the Acolytes beat the shit out of Public Enemy.
Yeah.
And they weren't around after that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really weird because Ted Petty was a respected veteran.
He was. Yeah,
Yeah,
Johnny not so much, but Ted, I'd probably it was just probably the way they were doing business. They were kind of getting full of themselves in ECW. When you got a bidding war happening over you, you kind of start to feel bigger than you are and bigger than the business. And they have the match with the Acolytes. Ron John beat the shit out of them because Public Enemy wanted to change shit before the match, and they're new here, so it's like, no, that's not how we do business. Okay, you think you're fucking tough, you think you're hardcore, we're going to show you how hardcore we can get here. Get beat the fuck out of it. They go back to ECW, and what's the big dream match now? The new tag team of ECW, the Dudley Boys, against Public Enemy. And Public Enemy are teased to come back, and then Dudley Boys shit all over them, and it's like, they're not coming. Boom, lights go out. Here comes the Public Enemy, beat up the Dudleys, and we start doing business with that. First time around, enemies go up. Everything's fine. Now it's time to put Dudley's over and the enemies. What happens after 3D? What happens after every time you kick a 3D? You fucking lay there and you take it and you do nothing. 3D goes down on Public Enemy, match is over, and Public Enemy are up. They're dancing around and they're having fun with the audience. Guess what? They're not who they were anymore. The Dudleys are now the big tag team. So they got another message from Devon and Bubba another night later. And pretty soon after that, Public Enemy were gone.
Yep.
So you could pretty much
WCW again for a cup of coffee.
You know who Johnny Grunge was? I just figured this out. Scott, you used to watch the Savoldi's IWCCW, right?
Yep.
Remember Zip, Zap, and Zoom?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Grunge was Zap.
Grunge was Zap. Mm-hmm.
Grunge was Zap, and I remember Grunge wrestled. They brought when they brought Kevin Von Erich in, and that was his big debut match was against Zap.
Yeah, because they were becoming IWCCW. Remember that bullshit?
Yep. They even used the bum,
Also, with the dark match here, Smoking Guns were the tag team champions.
Yeah.
The dark match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shows you how much they cared about the tag division then.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, then again, the tag division 95 was really Owen Hart and Yokozuna and nobody else.
And the Guns, well, they started building up. I mean, they had the Bodyguards eventually, and the Godwins and the New Rockers was getting there.
Yeah, they were doing those four tag team matches there for a while on the loop. It was all four tag teams there and all that stuff. And Al was very instrumental in putting that match together. because it was a finish that I think he said he used to do with Al Costello way back when he started.
I love Al.
Who doesn't love Al? My God, man just had double knee surgery.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Most
And then what
jacked
came from
grandfather
all
you ever
that was what was that?
see. He's the most jacked grandfather you ever see.
I thought the most jacked grandfather was Vince.
Actually, you think H.C. Loke is the most jacked grandfather you ever see, but
True.
no,
That's true.
He's a close second. Al's a little up there.
Yeah, he's out there.
Loke
Go ahead, James.
looks great. He looks better than both of us. I tell you that.
James, you're going to say something. Go ahead.
It's like you got all those teams, and then eventually we get Owen and Bulldog
Right.
Yep.
as something respectable from the tag division.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So now on to questions, and the first one I see right off the bat from Russell. Did y'all see or read about Walter's match with Ilya Dragunov on NXT UK? Freaking brutal British strong style.
I still gotta watch.
I need to watch
I've
it.
heard
watched
about
it
it.
either.
I've heard rave reviews. I just have to see it.
Yeah, because I know a
Still
couple.
watch it.
Because I know one of the guys from the Horseman podcast, Artur, is a big Walter and Ilya Dragunov fan, and he was talking about.
Big Walter fan.
Thank you. Thank you. On our old show, The Curtain Jerkers, we would take clips of Cornette putting Walter over because Cornette's a huge Walter fan.
Yep.
You know, and that'd be like
Yeah,
a little
about him.
statement. Oh, yeah. Act like he's talking about me.
So let's clarify.
But
It's
that
Walter.
match, and also, how about Serena Deeb and Layla Hirsch having a great fucking match
Hey.
on Dynamite?
Layla Hirsch, by the way, was a girl that Walter and I got to call a match for at an independent show
A
in New
great
York,
match.
in the capital of New York last summer. It was a great match. So she definitely deserves the spot.
And then she had the following week. She had another really good match with the champion. What's the champion's name again? The women's champion on AEW. I lost.
Cheetah.
I forgot her name.
Yeah. Who was it?
Karu Shida.
Karushita. Thank you. Yeah. So good for her. Really good for her. Actually, I just realized tonight's Full Gear. Tonight's the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
We finally get the long-awaited, hyped-up match over the internet. The internet dream match between the Young Bucks and the Revival FTR. And the Revival is bitching online about the build. Like, the build sucked for this match. We wanted it to be something special.
And it's not. So greener pastures, folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything's
Just
better on the
ask
other side.
Jake Hager and Brody Lee.
Uh-huh.
Neither one are on the show. Miro's not on the show.
But so before anybody else has any extra questions to ask, reminder of our upcoming schedule for the rest of the month for Survivor Series month. So next week we're going to be talking about one of the top 3 best Survivor Series shows of all time. Maybe not so much for the matches, but more for the story. Survivor Series 1998, Deadly Games Night, aka the one crowning achievement Vince Russo had as far as booking a whole show. Then after that, we're going to be talking about Survivor Series 1999. And then for people who ask, why 99? So I can make a point of who should have been the one to replace Steve Austin in that triple threat. And then the final week, it's going to be arguably the best one out of them all, and one of my favorites of all time, Survivor Series 2002, with possibly 2 guests. One, my buddy Stuart Campbell from Philly, who's trained at the Monster Factory and is a ring announcer, commentator on the Indies. And another guest, my good buddy Connor Morgan, a.k.a. OK-Fabe. And he'll be joining us for that. So possibly 5 people on one episode. Oh, God. You want to talk? And Connor and Stuart are 2 of the funniest guys I've ever known. So we might have a bit of a comedy show heading our way for that. So that's going to be great. And then for a reminder for December, it's going to be Starrcade month. Which Starrcades? We're not sure yet. We'll have to discuss. But yeah. Russell just said, Dragunov was all cut up, spitting out blood, but this was a great test for Dragunov. He's a fighter. Well, I mean, everything I've seen of Dragunov, yeah, he's definitely a badass in the ring, to be sure. But yeah.
Was he a progress? Or where did they
He was a
find him?
progress. I think he was progress, yeah.
Here's another discussion topic. Jumping to New Japan Pro Wrestling. All of a sudden, the G1 Climax is now you get a briefcase and you get a contract.
Oh boy!
Yes, we got it now.
And Jay White defeated Kota Ibushi for that contract, and now the main event for Wrestle Kingdom has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I believe they're doing the same thing now. They're doing the Intercontinental. They're unifying the belts again, or something. Yeah, from what I heard, they're still unifying the belts. Evil is now involved in the main event in some capacity. So Jay White just this past week has defeated Kota Ibushi for the main event contract for Wrestle Kingdom. So that just goes to show you WWE's influence on international. New Japan never did stuff like that.
No.
I mean, the G1 Climax was considered a big, long, prestigious tournament. Top-notch matches, great stuff. But now it's starting to get a little gimmicky here. I just can't see Chono going to Hashimoto after Hashimoto beats Muda for the tournament. He goes, you take me on, I want that belt or that contract.
Yep.
So plus, whoever has had that briefcase has never won at Wrestle Kingdom.
You mean the G1 Climax winner has never won? You mean
the briefcase holders never won the? Yeah, because
I lost
since they've
hold on.
Oh, Walt the Lagger is back.
Okay.
Oh boy!
But yeah, ever since they've done the briefcase the briefcase holder, they've never won at a Wrestle Kingdom.
My sound keeps going. I'm sorry.
James, actually, no wait. Actually, I correct myself. Only once has the briefcase since they've started the briefcase.
Oh, they started the briefcase. You mean?
Yeah. Since they've done that, since they started whoever wins the G1 get the shot at Wrestle Kingdom. Only once has that winner been won at Wrestle Kingdom.
And who was that? Tanahashi?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, because he beat Omega, yeah. Yeah, I'm just not getting the whole briefcase gimmick. But it just shows... I've talked with Scott about this years ago. I said New Japan's becoming sports entertainment. Very much so.
Yeah.
As much as it might rub some diehard NJPW fans the wrong way, it's true.
Yep, that's true.
Well, a lot of those diehard NJPW fans have not watched NJPW for a long time. I've been a long time NJPW viewer, and I remember back in the mid '90s, early 2000s, it was very different. It was more. I gotta say, I'm sorry. NXT is the closest thing you're gonna get to a sports alternative right now, and Ring of Honor as well, compared to any product.
Mm-hmm.
NJPW still has that whole the whole the matches are great and the athleticism and all that, but they have managers now. They have interferences in matches and more often
way too many factions.
Oh, there's tons of factions now.
Another one.
Bullet Club's still going technically.
Yeah.
Bullet Club, Chaos.
Name somebody not in a faction.
Right.
Tenzan, Nagata, I think those, yeah, yeah.
You know,
and now I hear Will, Los Angeles. And now I hear Will Ospreay is now forming his own faction.
The Empire.
Lord.
Yeah.
Russell asks, "Did you all see Alexa Bliss's contact eyes? Really cool. Yeah, they look really cool too."
Yeah, that's one of the few things I am enjoying with WWE programming is the Alexa Bliss, Bray Wyatt, Funhouse stuff they're doing. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Ricky asks, "Will you guys ever do a Wrestle Kingdom? If you do, may I suggest Wrestle Kingdom 11 just for Okada versus Omega, or Wrestle Kingdom 12 for Jericho versus Omega? If I can find a way to watch either of those two shows, then yeah."
They were on Daily Motion. I don't know if they still are, but they were. In their entirety. That's the other thing too. Those are long shows.
Yeah, that is.
It was like 4 or 5 hours for fuck's sake.
Oh Lord!
But WrestleMania's too long.
Yeah,
WrestleMania's too long. Yeah.
At
least they were smart with that this year and went to 2 nights.
Yeah.
But, man.
Now
I hope it stays 2 nights.
I was just about to ask, would we prefer it to be a 2-night thing going forward? I honestly would like that idea. So you could keep building, so you can build up more, and you can put more matches on each night and showcase more people. and get them
already
all
a week-long-
WrestleMania
A
payday.
week-long event anyway. Why
Exactly.
not just make it that? Just make it 2 nights every single year now.
Yeah, you could do Hall of Fame
Adjust
on
the schedule a little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
you could do Hall of Fame Thursday night, Takeover Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday WrestleMania.
Mhm. Yep, and then you got Raw and go from there. But
What about SmackDown with it being on Friday now?
You could
that
do.
was-
Well, yeah, that's true. I was gonna.
start. It would start probably have to be starting Wednesday. NXT Takeover would be, NXT programming for that Wednesday probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Thursday night you could do the Hall of Fame, like you said. Friday be SmackDown. Saturday afternoon do the Hall of Fame, or find a new format for it, or Saturday Sunday is WrestleMania and do the Hall of Fame on Raw.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I think that would be better. Now that I think about it.
I
And
just wish the Hall of Fame was no fans. It'd be like the old days
Yes.
of the Hall of Fame.
I was
Yes.
just about to make the
Yeah.
point. After what
You mean
happened,
like a banquet?
Yeah, man.
I was just
Next
about to make the
episode-
point. I feel like after what happened last year when they changed it to where they're in the ring and that fan got in to attack Brett, I feel like after that they need to either, if they're going to have fans, either do it the way they've done it before or no fans at all.
Yeah.
Because
Have it
after
as-
what happened last year, yeah, fuck that.
Who knows what we're going to be looking at next year with everything going on with the COVID. Just like I said, do it on Raw and just play the package and then cut to the inductee, do their speech remotely, whatever. They already have their freaking plaque. Let them do 20 minutes tops. And don't be talking about your mom for 5 hours.
Good Lord,
And-
I wasn't
My
at the
mama,
arena.
mama.
I sadly
Mama.
wasn't in the arena for the inductions because we
Okay.
got to our hotel an hour before everything started. My dad was freaking the fuck out trying to even find a hotel, so I couldn't go. And yet, we weren't notified that we had. Whenever we went to the front desk at the hotel, we got a FedEx. It had our room info, and it also had tickets for access that day, Hall of Fame, and WrestleMania. If I was told this before, we would have left earlier, gotten there earlier, and I would have went to Access and Hall of Fame. Thankfully, I bought backup tickets for the Sunday of Access, so I managed to pull that off. But yeah, I wasn't at the arena, but I watched it on the network from the hotel, and oh my god, Mr. T. To the point where Kane had to come out and say, your
Kane.
time is up.
They did the same with
It's
Bob
not
Backlund.
as
when I
long
would-
as
Same
not
thing
as
happened
long
with
as-
Bob Backlund. When I went to WrestleMania 29 and the induction of Mick Foley, Bruno Sammartino, other people involved, Backlund comes out there, he starts rambling on and on and on, and Vince has to come out and give him the egg. He says, "We're done."
of course the trophy goes to Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim is still talking, for fuck's sake.
Oh, man. Ricky just said, now on the subject of the Hall of Fame, do you guys think, who do you think will be in the Hall of Fame for 2021? Not counting
It's gonna be-
2020 class.
It's gonna be. I think it's just gonna be the same class. I don't think they're adding anybody.
Yeah.
Could do a double.
You
class.
could. I was just gonna say, do a double class, dude. 2020 and 2021. And he says, my best odds, I think Undertaker's going to be top of the list.
I think honestly, when Undertaker's put in the Hall of Fame, it should be an Andre thing, and he's the only person.
The only one. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Give him the Andre moment, kind of.
All him.
But
I would
thinking
say,
about with 2021, considering we're supposed to, quote unquote, have WrestleMania in LA, since if that's going to still happen, then I feel that would be the best time to put The Rock in. Because I feel like, by and large, he ain't coming back for matches anymore. If
Unless they want to do the Roman match. And
I was
that's
just
only
about
if
to
they have
say,
fans.
yeah,
yeah.
that's all rumor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah, The Rock.
storyline-wise, it would make perfect sense to do it.
It would.
But, yeah.
I
But
think
who else could go in for the next class?
I think Kane could go in.
Yeah, you
don't
could
see
put
how-
Kane in.
I mean, he's hardly wrestling more anyway.
And then, of course, probably one of the big ones, Vader.
Yeah.
They need to put Vader in soon.
Yep. And
of course, everyone's going to say Owen and Pillman and so on.
Do
and
your
so
idea.
forth.
Do your idea
Of just doing the Hart Foundation as a faction, as a backdoor way of getting Pillman and Owen finally in.
Black Doorway, is that a Zell Belair movie?
Fuck off! Fuck you! Fuck off! I'm still fuming about the Xfinity race. Okay, my brain is all fucked up.
I didn't hear a denial in there, by the way.
There is no Zev video called Black Door.
Not yet.
I doubt it's happening, but anyways.
I'm tweeting that to her right now. I'm going to tweet her right now.
Shit.
Yo, sweet tits. Why don't you make a movie called this?
Oh god, fucking shit.
I do it just to razz them, folks.
Yeah. Because even Ricky's getting into her videos, and I'm proud of you for it. But anyways, Ricky also just said, he said, I would say Chris Jericho, but since he's on AEW, then again, Billy Gunn got inducted while being under AEW. True, but...
Can't fire me.
True, but... Yeah. I feel like unless Jericho's gone from AEW, he won't go in because WWE's petty about shit like that.
Well...
And fuck it, I say Al Snow. Al Snow should be in the Hall of Fame, for God's sake.
Why not?
If Kota Beware is going to be in there, Al Snow should be in there, for fuck's sake.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, as far as celebrities...
I mean, look at all the guys that are not WWE. I mean, Liger is supposed to go in this year, and how many WWE matches Liger ever wrestled? One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true. Now, as far as like if they were to do celebrity inductees, there's really very few that actually deserve to be in. James will agree with me on this. Cyndi Lauper, Andy Kaufman, Dick Emersall, Motorhead, Regis Philbin, and Dennis Rodman. After those 6, no more.
There's always a woman There's always a female inductee.
Yeah,
so...
who would be that this year or next year?
Victoria.
Yeah. You could do Victoria.
UPW, I believe, California style, so why not put her in?
Why not put her in? And she deserves it, too.
Yeah.
Ricky said Muhammad Ali. Yeah, why not?
Oh, my wife also
Molly
did say Molly. Molly could be inducted.
Molly. Hell, maybe... Even though she's still technically active right now, Mickie James.
Not yet.
Maybe not yet, but eventually.
What about Art
Donovan?
Fuck
Donovan.
Fuck Art
Somebody got
What did that guy weigh?
Jesus.
What about Will Sasso for his work in WCW?
Oh, God.
Look at that one
What about
match
Chucky?
against Bret Hart.
What about Chucky?
Oh, Chucky.
Fucking Chucky. We're back to this from last week.
RoboCop. Kiss.
What about the guy from Quest for Camelot that would show up randomly on WCW?
Jerry and Doyle from the Misfits for their short stint in WCW.
Oh, God.
God, yes, the Misfits, perfect.
Insane Clown Posse.
ICP, yes.
ICP dressed up as Animal and Hawk for Halloween this year, and it was pretty convincing. They look pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
And then speaking of people who deserve it for real, Demolition, even though until their beef with Vince is gone, not happening.
Yeah. That's going to be a Paul, get on the phone, make it happen, like you do with Bruno.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they should be in, but as long as there's bad blood, it's never going to happen.
And then Ricky just said, in terms of tag teams, Edge and Christian or the Hardys.
Christian's never going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's the gimmick.
Yeah.
Dwayne Gill and Barry Hardy.
Techno
Gilbert.
Whose Goldberg should induct him?
Yeah.
Swallow your pride, Bill.
Put him over, spear him, and then Dwayne gets up, sells it the whole time doing his speech.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I guess when they first met, Goldberg was like a real dick to him. Like over time, like Goldberg started being nice to him.
He was, yeah. Oh, who's the kid who's the ref's son who won the tag titles with Braun Strowman?
Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas Cone.
I was the only person that really liked that. I thought it was great. It was a great WrestleMania moment. It was nice.
It was cute.
I'm so dominant.
Everyone wanted it to be Ellsworth. Everyone wanted it to be Ellsworth. This before Ellsworth got outed as a pervert. But wouldn't it have been something if, like, because Ellsworth just got released prior to WrestleMania. Braun is walking through the crowd and he points and he's looking for a tag partner. He points, you, and the camera turns. It's James Ellsworth in street clothes. Imagine the pop.
God.
But the whole thing with that was, it's like, I'm so dominant, I could have a kid as my tag team partner and still beat you.
Yep.
And the kid was in the ring. He got tagged in.
Yeah.
Against this,
He was
the opposite of Cesaro.
And
then
then
Daddy's like, "Come on in. It's okay. It's all right. Remember your thing to do. Remember the thing to do. All right, tag out. Get out of here."
Cesaro's gonna hit the kid with the alarm clock. Oh my! Hit the kid with the alarm clock. Easy 3 count. Braun's like, "Oh fuck, this was a bad idea."
You want heel heat?
Kid, take it.
Or Sheamus with a bro kick.
oh,
Welcome to the
Lays the
welcome to
kid
the
out.
business.
Wow. Man,
you're just
Hector
you're
Guerrero
just
should go
begging
in
for
to
trouble in that
Gooker.
moment.
It's like that commercial. That's that the Mountain Dew or 7-Up commercial or Sprite or whatever, where Sting comes to the
7-Up.
kid's house.
Yep.
The wrestle, and they pull up like
And he
Sting
just
really
beats the hell out of the kid.
get up.
Oh, you
He
mentioned
drinks some Mountain Dew, thinking, "Now I'm ready." Bam!
Which now that brings up a
mentioned the gobbledygooker. We're all talking about Undertaker's 30th anniversary. This year's 30th anniversary of the gobbledygooker.
There you go.
That's right.
Hector Guerrero should go in.
Oh man. Now that brings up another question. Now that you brought up that 7-Up commercial with Sting, well, now I ask you all, favorite commercial with wrestlers involved?
The LJN figures, the first one. You don't remember that because you weren't alive, but
I don't even think I know what that
They
is.
were foreign objects.
yes,
They were foreign objects. Probably those things hurt. I had Bundy. Bundy was the fucking worst. He was like a big mass of rubber.
I got it right there. Actually, I can't grab it. There's a bunch of shit behind it, but I got it right there.
Bundy, yeah.
The Bundy one. I got Bundy, Axe, AYD,
upstairs.
Hot Rod, Jake, Rick Rude.
Yep. Upstairs, I got Macho Man, Jake, Bulldogs, Beefcake, Outback Jack, Valentine, and I think Hogan.
But I will say probably favorite the Ruse commercials from WCW.
Oh God.
Yes, Sting, Road Warriors, Lex Luger.
Well, Dusty Rhodes from
Oh,
Mellow Yellow.
Rick Steiner
Dusty
too.
Rhodes from Mellow Yellow. You see the commercial, and he's doing this.
Yep, Mellow Yellow, Dusty Rhodes.
Mellow Yellow, the pace that beats.
Oh,
I just
remembered a good one. Whenever they were hyping up that Raw was going back to USA Network, probably my favorite would be the Triple H tan one, where he's just laying there under the sun, and then some random guy thinks, "Oh shit, he's gonna be sunburned," and Cena whack to the back, ah! And then here, trust me, like, hey, big man,
the other,
huh? Hey, can you get my back?
Was it SmackDown was going to Friday or something like that, and nobody could understand what the message was, but by the end of it, it's like, you got to give Kali a prostate exam. Remember that commercial? That got the spit take. I ruled.
They had to use Kali for something. And that was
Yep.
Remember,
You don't remember that one?
I remember. Remember when Kali and Mark Henry were a tag team and they jumped in the ring doing this?
Yeah, doing the dancing, yeah, with Natty.
Yeah.
Cheer up, will you? Kid?
Oh my god,
You broke Levi.
I broke Levi.
just a delivery.
Okay, yeah.
Just your delivery when you said Collie gets a prostate exam. Oh my god, I'm sweating.
But
Levi's gonna fall out of his chair.
Yes, he is. Yes. But let's be serious. Come on. One of the greatest commercials with a wrestler in it.
You boys a bit bored?
Oh, my
Step
cheeks.
into it.
Yeah, the Slim Jim commercials. Oh, and Russell just brought up the WrestleMania 21 movie parody commercials.
Oh yeah,
Those are great.
Undertaker doing Dirty Harry and Triple H doing Braveheart.
I'm trying to remember which one of those would be my favorite. because they were all really good.
Probably the Talking to Me. That was my favorite, I think.
Oh yeah, with everybody and
Talking to Me?
Batista no
Everybody
selling it until
talking
the
to
very
us?
end.
You know what? Warrior did the Slim Jim commercials for Macho Man. I remember
Right.
that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, snack chips! Gotta have beef, gotta have spice!
Then
Bam
after
Bam did
Savage,
it
it was
too.
Diesel and Bam Bam.
Yep.
Was
Bam
it?
Bam. Yeah, Bam
Yeah.
Bam did those too. Yep.
Which,
Who-
speaking of Savage,
Let me
speaking of
ask you guys.
Savage,
Go ahead.
no, speaking of Savage, today's the anniversary of when Vince said that Savage didn't resign
Oh,
on
wow.
Raw.
Oh, yep. That was one of the very few times where Vince would back then when Vince would address the status
You
of
could
his
actually
tell he
believe
was
it.
heartbroken.
He
Yeah,
was.
he was.
He was.
Well, hey Vince, you thought his career was over, so
Yeah.
yeah, you retired him, quote unquote.
what a
just
dick
like
are you?
Just like
We're going to-
WCW retired Terry Funk.
Terry Funk.
Yeah.
We're going
And-
into a youth movement, but we're making Bob Backlund champion. in
And
a
your
couple
first
months.
main event of your quote new generation is Piper versus Lawler at King of the
Uh-huh.
Ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If I had to choose my favorite Mania 21 movie parody commercial, it would be either the Stone Cold as the Gladiator, or probably the funniest one, Kurt Angle, Christy Hemme doing When Harry Met Sally.
I like the Taxi Driver one. The one for Steve Austin and Gladiator. They saved that one for WrestleMania itself. You didn't see that one on the build during the
Yeah, and it was
the
perfect.
build-up.
It was awesome.
It was for the intro. Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was
and real
fantastic.
quick, Ricky commented. I completely brushed over this earlier, but Ricky commented, "Just put Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame and make Eric Bischoff inducted."
Oh. Let me ask
Oh,
you:
that would be funny.
have any of you ever actually had WWF ice cream bars?
No,
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, because they're impossible to find growing up when I was a kid.
No, it was one time I was hanging at Scarsdale's house of all places, the guy who messed up Bob Backlund's head, and we were all hanging out there. It was summertime. The ice cream guy was coming down the block, and we walked up there, and one of us popped, ran back. Dude, he's got WWF ice cream bars, and we all grabbed one.
Wow. Because I remember going to the shows in Binghamton, they always gave you a coupon for a free ice cream bar. And RB was like, well, I didn't even know they made them. Where the hell are they going to sell them? I don't know.
and then of course
Yeah, I
CM
remember
Punk
also,
brings them back, quote unquote, in 2011.
And for some reason, I also remember when we all got the ice cream bars, there was this really hot chick next door in a red, white, and blue bikini. And we all got our ice cream, went back to the backyard, and we all went, God bless America.
Perfect.
How old were you guys? Like 10, 11?
No. We're teenagers at this point, boy. What is the problem with you?
I was about 10 or 11. So.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were the baby.
Yeah.
Except for this group, I'm the baby.
I'm the old
I
man.
was
of
going to
this
say, you
group.
were a twinkle in your mom's eye at that time.
Hell, Scott, you're old enough to be my dad.
You're welcome.
Is he?
Yeah,
Are you that old?
I'm only 26.
Yeah, I'm 19 years older than he is. So if I was ghetto, he'd totally be.
Damn it, Ricky!
What did Ricky say?
Won't you read for yourself? read the comment for yourself.
Do I need to?
Yes, you do.
What the fuck?
God damn it. Oh, my face is turning redder than a fucking cherry.
Ricky, that's very true. Yes, Ricky, that's very true. Yes,
The only way I could be Levi's dad. The only way I could be Levi's dad is if I was a sexually active yet irresponsible 15-year-old.
Yeah, you. I think you're the same age as my brother Rue would be if he was still alive.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'm 41.
right. I'm
Well,
40.
my brother Rue would be 40s, but relatively
Like
close.
I said, if I was ghetto and living in Ohio, yeah, you could be my son. But,
And to some degree, I do kind of wish that happened.
I appreciate.
No
that.
disrespect, no disrespect to my actual dad, but yeah,
Come on.
yeah. Russell just brought up the Basic Instinct parody.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was a
my
good
God.
one. Oh God, Stacy. Oh. And then they get Mae Young at the end. That was funny. And then of course Eddie and Booker doing Pulp Fiction. That I think out of all of them, that was the one that I think was played the most.
Yeah,
Was the Eddie and Booker one.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. I love how you like suspense. Is Booker going to kill this guy? Can you dig it, sucker? WrestleMania tickets. And Eddie pulls out the gun.
I'm surprised Eddie, or I'm surprised they didn't do anything with Booker with the intro to the Warriors, or that scene in the Warriors.
That. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been. Yeah. Jeez. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And for those who had the WrestleMania 21 DVD, you get the bloopers of those commercials. Oh my God, they were so good.
Remember the honeycomb commercial with Andre the Giant?
Andre the Giant. Yes.
I've never seen it. I always heard about it.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah. It's small. A big daddy takes big crunch for a big bite. No more girlfriends.
Oh, and then how could we forget another all-time?
I am the Dread Pirate Roberts. Your nightmares are about to come true.
But anyways, and I forgot how can we talk about? I saw
I
what
will
Rachel
win
said.
the belt, the World Wrestling Federation Championship. I will
But,
enjoy it again. You know what I loved about Andre? When he would choke a guy and the referee would count, he'd do this. He'd release really quick and let it go. That was so smart. So smart.
But I was going to say, we can't talk about classic wrestling commercials without bringing up the Super Bowl ad from '99 at Titan Towers.
Oh, God, that was great.
Both
that
of
was
them.
a good one.
Remember there was two.
Yep.
Yeah, those were great.
Yep.
Well,
What about some of the LJN, the figures commercials?
Bring home all the action.
The action, get more satisfaction, get grip.
oh, and I just rememred one. Even though it wasn't on TV, it was on YouTube, on TNA's YouTube channel. And around Christmas 2009, they did this holiday shop TNA ad where Velvet Sky wearing like glasses and a business suit, and good lord, and with her hair done. Holy shit! But beside the point, I don't want to get too distracted.
There's one commercial for the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and so they go through like all the different options you go through, and on the hotline you had Suicide on the phone. It's like, what? A Best of Raven DVD? We have thousands of those in stock. Is that really what you want? What? Am I hot? Of course I'm hot. Have you ever worn a mask with a skull on it? And then Victoria or Tara at the time, like, asking, which size shirt do you want? A 2X? And they say size doesn't matter, huh? Okay, we'll get you that as soon as possible. We got another beer money shirt! Beer money! And then they go into the warehouse, and Kip James, Billy Gunn's like the constant guy throughout all of it. He's just running around every which way. And they go into the middle of the shelves, and you got Rude and Storm sorting out replica belts. AJ, who was world champion at the time, is looking around like, where's my belt? This is your belt, right? No, where is my belt? I left it on this table. Whereas the Abyss is sitting behind a barbed wire fence, like, happy holidays from TNA. All the good little boys and girls out there, and he's putting thumbtacks and broken glass into the presents to send them away.
I vaguely remember that one, yeah.
And then next day delivery. Rhino looking at a program, runs around, knocks over the guy, takes the package, and just runs off with it.
Yes.
And then another shipping one where some guy gives Samoa Joe the present, and he's like, fragile, like, oh, I got it. Looks fucking field goal, kicks it into the truck. And then you close the commercial off with Velvet Sky standing in front of everybody as they're all arguing or talking behind them. And she's like, we're all one big happy family. And then AJ goes, you guys shipped my belt! Sorry about your damn luck. And starts choking. AJ, your hands are freezing. And Billy's just yelling at two guys sitting around. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm making orders and you guys are dallying around. Get out of here. Go. they're gonna get killed. And they're all fighting and fighting until AJ's like, stop! It's Christmas! And then they look up, Suicide's on the top going, ho, ho, ho! What the? And he jumps on everybody.
Wow. There was
that was a great one.
The LJN figures, the big rubbery ones. It was like one of the last commercials for it. There was 3 kids. One was dressed as Hogan. And he's kind of like a frail kid. And he's got this big-ass Hogan mustache. And makes him look more like an 80-year-old man than it does Hulk Hogan. Then there was a kid dressed as Macho Man. And then a kid dressed up as Adrian Adonis. And I'm not talking about biker Adrian, New York City biker teaming up with Jesse Ventura, Adrian Adonis. I mean relax with Trudy, Adrian Adonis.
Wow.
Good night, Green, Adrian Adonis. Yeah, they're all like
that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's relatively disturbing.
Big man, my guys, you have yours.
Yeah.
I've got Junkyard Dog. I've got Great Hammer Valentine. I've got Ricky Steamboat. I've got Brutus Beefcake.
And this is back then. Nobody wanted to be the heels. None of us wanted to be the heels back then.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I just linked in the Discord chat we're in, as well as in the YouTube chat, the commercial I was just talking about. See, I told you Velvet looked great in that outfit.
Bring home all the action. You get more satisfaction. You bring home all the action.
And now with WWF Superstars from LJN.
Oh, crowd, all of you!
And one other thing I forgot about with that commercial I was talking about. There was at one point Homicides talking on the hotline, talking in Spanish, and Velvet's like, relax, remember, the customer's always right. And then he keeps going on his rant, and Velvet's like, I'm sorry, I do not speak French. And he's looking at her like, are you kidding me?
You a coward, Carino.
But finish it down in Japan.
It was funny.
You a coward, Carino.
Remember the ECW?
He sounds like Ren.
Remember the ECW figure commercial? Remember that one?
Spicoli Driver.
Yeah. They put Tommy to a table, and the last shot, they're all got each other in a lock.
Get extreme. ECW.
It's Taz with this freaking.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's a good part to wrap up the show.
That's a good enough place for them to say, fuck this shit, let's get out of here.
Yes, let's go home.
Fuck this shit,
But before we go, it's plug time, so I shall begin. You can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99. Two big plugs I want to emphasize. First, go follow me on Twitch, ThrashManiac99, because apart from this podcast as well as the Horseman podcast on my channel, I'm going to be doing more streams over on Twitch. In fact, I might go live on there again after this to do Among Us with a bunch of friends, possibly. Maybe, maybe not. And same for tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my NCAA Football 07 series that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. But also, I have not only can you follow me on Twitter at ThrashManiac99, but you can go follow King Fat on YouTube at TheKingFat if you want to see stupid things that he says sometimes. I don't know what goes through his head, but anyways, yeah, and of course, subscribe to here. James?
Well, you can subscribe to me at WeAreProWrestling on YouTube. Currently doing my own Survivor Series month. I just did Survivor Series 1994. Next week, I'm going to be covering 1996. After that, 1998, and then 2005. And then you can follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling. That's about it.
Scott?
You can find me on my reaction channel, Mr. Scott Reacts, where I do reaction videos to all kinds of fun stuff, music videos, comedy stuff, all kinds of great stuff. So please go there and check it out and subscribe. Subscribe to here as well. As Levi said, we would appreciate that. Try and get 100 subs on this channel by the end of this year. We think it's attainable, but we need your help to do it. And I'm trying to get to the 1,500 mark myself on my channel, so I'd appreciate that by the end of this year. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Scott Reacts. And I'll let Walter tell you where else you can find me and him in the podcasting world.
You can find me and Scott along with our good friends Token Tom Clark, Skip Novak, and Sergeant Fury Dan Roberts for the Necrocastagon, where we discuss the best of horror, metal, and more. And you can listen to us every Monday on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine-ass podcasting.
And because I'm a dick, James, I apologize. Right here, you will see the We Are Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, if you can see that, and subscribed.
Well, there you go.
Sweet.
A live subscription.
I'm getting close to 9,000, and I want to get there before the end of the year. Really close.
Yeah.
So I just gave you one more. Sir.
Actually, I might already be subscribed. Let me check. If not, I will be.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I don't have any goals other than for this channel because I just hit 3,000 back in the summer. So the next goal 3,500, but I don't think I'm gonna reach that for quite a while. So
yeah, and the way I'm going right now, I should hit 10,000 by next year sometime. I want to hit before my birthday.
Yeah, let's hope for that. Damn it. But real quick before we go. Hey, Jackass, what are you doing today?
What's up, Jackass? Hey, Foley, your wife's a whore. Hey, Foley, your children are bastards. Hey, Foley, the WWE sucks.
Love that.
Oh, that was great. But anyways,
I took these 2 middle fingers.
Long live the Alliance! Long live the Alliance!
Funk Masters of Wrestling. Woo! Woo!
Where is that piece of shit? Come on, Anita! Where's that piece of shit?
where the fuck was Vicky?
Scott, real quick, do you remember? Do you remember on IW King of the Death matches when Tiger Jeet Singh every promo he had between his matches, he's always calling out Godo.
Yes.
Tarzan Godo. Yeah. Oh, that's Godo! Ah!
So
Terry Gordy had the best promo I've ever seen in my life on that tournament.
Right here in Kawasaki.
He beats Cactus Jack beats him. Cactus Jack goes to the locker room. He's bloody.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's it. Cactus Jack is bloody as hell. Like, Dang! I'll tell you, you really taught me a lesson. And Terry Gordy,
Fuck, motherfucker beat me. Fuck.
that was
Right
the
here
problem.
in Kawasaki.
But real quick before we officially go, quick reminder of the schedule. Next week, Survivor Series 1998, then 99, and then we end with 2002. Until next time, horns high, see you next week. Jackasses.